And I think we are
Yeah,
live.
we're live.
Here we go. We are live. Let me just check on my phone. It says meeting is now streaming on Facebook. So let me just make sure everything is good. And then we will get started. Yes, we are live. Awesome. Woo woo. Captions are auto generated. This is great. This is great. Hey everyone, it's Eileen Carlucci, Redesign Your Life Coach, and thank you so much for joining in tonight. And welcome to Conversations with Eileen. And I am actually here every Wednesday at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And every single week I have an amazing, super fabulous guest, and they're all women in business. And, you know, women who started businesses, are in business. And not only do they share about their journey to starting their business, but the twist is they share their restart, their redesign, their reinvention story, which we always love to hear, how people really reinvent themselves and start a whole new career, a whole new life. And tonight I have a very special guest. This is one of my favorite people. She is a good, great friend and a very powerful lady. Her name is Jennifer Hocutt of J, Hocutt Group LLC. And Jennifer is a career and professional development coach. And Jennifer has been my friend. We met a few years ago at a networking event. And I was just so captivated by her because she had just started her business. She had been in corporate America for a long time. She knows her stuff. And I was just like, wow, you know, we have got to talk. So we actually got together and did one of our Facebook Lives together the very first time. And we've been friends since that time. And I really thank you for coming on tonight, Jennifer.
Oh my goodness, it is totally my pleasure. And I have to say, Conversations with Eileen will always have a soft and near and dear spot in my heart, because literally it was the first time I'd ever gone live, ever been on video. Eileen brought me on, and it was Conversations with Eileen, and we did it in a local beautiful hotel. I was so nervous. I was just so on pins and needles. I was so nervous. I think I made you nervous. You're like, I don't know why I'm nervous. I do these all the time. Yeah. But you introduced me, and then you've had me on multiple times. And so Conversations with Eileen, when you told me you were bringing this back, I was like, yes, it is one of my favorite things. And it got me started in video, gave me confidence. So thank you for that. It'll always be something so special.
Yeah. And thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that. And like, I did not notice that you were nervous. Honestly, I know we changed like the light ring and our backdrop, we were moving around, but you were very calm. Like, and then
I was so nervous.
You just went on and you like knocked it out of the park. I would have never known, because the first time I went on, I was very nervous, but I thank goodness I was with somebody else. That always helps when you go live for the first time. But no, you did really great. You did really great. So, and I'm so glad to have Conversations with Eileen back, and I'm so happy to have you as a guest. So thank you for coming on tonight. So why don't we just get started? And like, I would love to hear about, you know, I know like, you know, my business is very much about redesign your life. And, you know, everyone has a restart and a redesign, reinvention story. And we'd love to hear yours. So if we can, you know, start with that, and then we'll hear about, you know, your road to starting your business.
Yeah. So I had a redesign. I redesigned my life totally unexpectedly. I was in corporate America for a long time. I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. I stayed home for almost a decade with my kids. And so I had left healthcare. I was in the healthcare industry, and I was a leader in small businesses, privately owned practices. But when I went back after a decade later, all of the healthcare, mainly the offices, had moved to a corporate environment. The individually owned practices were sold to corporate environment. And so I never saw myself as a corporate person, but here we are, the landscape of healthcare had changed, and I had to move with it. So I got a job for a major healthcare system, and just went into corporate and returned in a leadership capacity. And at that point in time, I just thought, well, the thing to do is to work your way up, right? You just work your way up to the corner office and higher titles. And that's what I started aiming for. That became my goal. Although deep down inside, I knew I was never a corporate person. That's just the thing that you do when you are in corporate America. You climb the ladder.
Yeah.
And I did that, and I did it very well, and I was really great at my job. And I don't say that to brag, but I say that with such pride because I took struggling practices that were privately owned, who were then brought in to the corporate environment, and I turned them around. So I was able to preserve the legacy of these doctors that had built their private independent practices. And I allowed them to continue because they were dying on the vine, being managed by the private physician, no longer being able to be sustainable. And when we found them, we saved them, and they could continue to serve their communities well. So I was always very proud of that. But there was something that always nagged inside of me. My favorite things to do were to grow my teams and talk about leadership and to help people become successful, even if it wasn't necessarily staying with us, working for us, but just helping them become successful. And I started doing a lot of leadership development trainings, and I really wanted to grow our team and make them the best there was. And I knew that development was really important. And I started writing resumes as a side job, just helping people out out of the kindness of my heart. And I started also helping private practices individually, consulting with them and just working with them on the side. And I did that for a long time, a lot of years. But I was just, honestly, the corporate environment was sucking the life out of me. It was just terrible. There were just so many things. There was toxic work environment and very poor leadership and backstabbing colleagues. And luckily for me, it was mild sexual harassment, but still not a good thing. Being objectified as a woman in a leadership role is never a great place to be. And so it was really hard for me to navigate all of those tough moments. And I know that I needed to make a change. I knew I needed to make a change. And I developed a really bad, serious health condition. And it wasn't until I literally was going into organ failure that my doctor looked at me and said, "You need to do something different with your life." And I said, "Oh yeah, I promise, I'm going to have a conversation with my boss." And he's like, "Yeah, I think it's beyond a conversation." And in that moment, you would have thought that I wish I could have told you, Eileen, that, oh, Monday came along and I walked into my boss's office and I handed in my notice and I hit the high road and I left. I didn't. Even that wasn't my rock bottom. I did start looking for a different job, and I started, networking and putting myself out there. But I always tried to Band-Aid a bullet hole instead of just leaving and realizing that moving from a different organization or a different specialty or whatever it may be, the whole thing was not for me. Because if you remember at the start of this conversation, I said, I was never a corporate girl. And I knew that.
Yes.
I knew that in my heart, I was never a corporate girl. So I found a different job. And I knew immediately when we were in the negotiation conversations that this was not what I should be doing. I just knew it. So many red flags. Ladies, I tell you, when the red flags come up, please do not make excuses. Don't dismiss them. Red flags are there for a reason. And I did not listen. And when they were negotiating with me over text and they were trying to lowball me in the offer and just all of these things, which were such red flags to me, and I knew it in my heart of hearts, I still kept trying so hard to make it work, because the alternative was this big, brave, scary move towards something else, towards doing something totally unknown. And listen, I invested a lot of time and effort and money into my career. I have an MBA in organizational leadership. I, have all these years of experience. I know healthcare. It's a completely different language. Like, I had so much invested, and I was really good at my job, which made it even worse. Because what am I going to do now? And I took the job, and it was just a nightmare from the beginning. And 3 months into that job is when I said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This is terrible. And it's from there that I put in an exit strategy and started moving towards something different.
Wow. So I had no idea you were having organ failure. Like, that is really a red flag. Wow. Like the stress of, Wow, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you got out and knew you had to take care of your well-being. Like that was, the top priority. So I know you didn't get out right away, but you did. And can anyone else relate to that? Being in corporate America or feeling like you're in a job or a position that is just, leave a comment if so, because we'd love to hear your comment, your feedback. So, and as I see comments coming in, I will definitely share them with you, Jennifer. I don't know if you could see on your phone as well, but okay, so let's talk about that. I thank you for sharing that story. And I just totally get the world of you feel like you're in the wrong place. Like I'm really good at my job and I'm great at this and you got great skills, but I just don't belong here. And this is not how I'm supposed to be spending my one and only life, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about your journey to starting your business, what that looked like.
Yeah. So I knew I didn't belong in corporate America, but then where do I belong?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, what do I do? And, I had my degree and I thought about different industries and I knew operations. I knew how to run a business. I knew how to make money. And I just kept thinking, what should I do? But the term corporate America doesn't just apply to healthcare or IT. It's corporate America. It's all of it. And I knew I wasn't that girl. But to go to working for private companies or a privately owned business, they don't need organizational leadership for that. And they have small mom and pop operations. Quite honestly, they couldn't afford me to bring me on. And I couldn't take a step back that far because I had a family and I had already created a lifestyle and this world in which I lived in that I worked really hard. I needed to be at a certain level. I needed to make a certain income. And while I loved those private practices, they just, they didn't need my expertise, so to say. And so I could help them, but they wouldn't need my help long term. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go and what I wanted to be when I grew up. I had no idea. I thought I had it all figured out and the rug was pulled out from underneath me. And I know, Eileen, you can relate to that because we think we're on this trajectory that, okay, this is our life. This is what we're here for. This is what we're meant to do. And all of a sudden something happens and wham, you are in a totally different world, forced to do something different out of your comfort zone. And all the things that you thought you knew are like non-existent. It's like you're starting all over again. And you think you're too old and who's gonna bring you on, who's gonna hire you, all of these things. And I just decided that so many people had told me over the years, you should go into business for yourself. I mean, you know how to run a business, you know how to make money, you know how to help people, and you're really good at it. You should just really work for yourself. And I laughed it off. Haha, that's not, I would never had an entrepreneurial spirit or an entrepreneurial pull. I never desired to start my own business, but so many things were pointing in a different direction for me. And I just decided that, the company that I want to work for doesn't look like it exists. So I'm going to create it myself. And I'm going to build a business that I want to work for. And I want to be somebody that other people want to work for. Wow. So that's how it really started, but it wasn't overnight. And that's what I want to encourage people. I didn't just leave my job on Monday and then go into my business the following week. That's not how it happened at all. I put an exit strategy in place. I looked at my finances, what I had available to me for residual income that I could use and fall back on to help me build my business. And I started building my business when I had my full-time job. I started my full-time job and 3 months in, I knew I was out. And 5 months later, 3 months, I knew I wanted to leave. And 2 months later, so 5 months into my new job, I got my LLC and I started J Hocutt Group. But I did speaking engagements. I started networking. That's how we met. Yeah. And I started making connections and I started working my company and my side hustle, turning it into a business every single day. And I gave myself 1 year. I set a date and it was August 17th of 2019. And by that date, if I didn't get to a certain threshold of finances and revenue stream and a funnel process and foundational work to building a business, If I didn't have all of that going and I couldn't sustain it, then I needed to really explore doing something different. I wasn't going to stay in my corporate job, but I knew that maybe the business thing wasn't for me if I couldn't make a go of it. And I gave myself 1 year and it all worked out. And you know what?
Here you are 3 years later.
Here I am 3 years later.
Yes, and wow. And I will tell you, I have worked with Jennifer before. She's absolutely amazing. I decided I want to get a resume. It's always good to update your resume. I haven't done it since 2016. And I will tell you, just to go through the process, her beautiful emails, the way everything's so organized, and she has everything in like, the documents and and it's so warm and welcoming. And like the resume, she's going to talk about that. Wow. Like just everything you do is just so on point. Everything is just amazing. And you're very warm and welcoming and you give impeccable service, I will tell you.
Oh, that is so sweet. That is the kindest thing, Eileen. I truly, truly appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for your amazing service. So let's hear about, what your services are. Cause I know there's people out there that, I maybe want to switch careers or get a resume done or, so share what you do.
Yeah. So like Eileen, she is wanting to explore working with businesses and different things in her business. And we've talked about this so many times. A resume is always a good thing to have. For me as a business owner, when I pitch to corporate entities for leadership development training, and when I talk to other people, when I talk to them, they want to see my resume. A lot of people just say, hey, go ahead and send me your resume. And you never know when that's going to happen. You don't know when that opportunity is going to come along and someone's going to say, give me your resume. The worst thing you can do is say, I don't have one, because you should have your resume at least somewhat put together. And even as an entrepreneur, you never know when you'll need your resume for just an opportunity that comes along, whether it's collaborating with somebody else or doing a workshop or gaining clients. You never know. They want to know what your skills and experience are. And that's just a normal thing to ask for. It's not outside the realm of normalcy, even in the business world. Yeah. So when I would hire consultants and I was working my corporate job, I'd ask for their resume, even though I knew they were small business owners, because let's be real. I can put whatever I want about myself on my website, on my social media. That's me putting that out into the world, but highlighting my skills and experience on my resume is a completely different type of marketing tactic. So Eileen and I have been working together on putting her resume together, and just as another marketing arm of her business, which I think is really great. Yes. And I would encourage that for anybody. Yes. And so what we've been doing is working on a resume intensive, which is a really popular program because it's a one-on-one service I offer to clients. So it's a 90-minute personalized video. We go top to bottom all through your current resume, what you have right now in this very moment. We go top to bottom, every single aspect of it. We pull it apart, we put it back together, and I work with you. So it's a done with you type of service where you're putting it together. I'm working with you. I'm showing you the ropes. Because what I really want to do is I really want people to learn how to use their resume. If you have somebody write your resume for you, that's great. But the resume is really the tool that will help you secure the interview. You are the asset that's going to help you secure the job. Mm-hmm. And if I give you a tool, but I don't teach you how to use it, it's useless. Mm-hmm. And a resume can either work for you or it can work against you. And I have heard all the stories about resume writers writing resumes and they get absolutely no response. And people walk away feeling defeated. They've spent all this time and money. And what happens? They go and they hire another person to do their resume. And sometimes that one will work out, but sometimes it's 2-3 times and it never works out. And then the person ends up feeling defeated. Mm-hmm. So I teach people, I work with people because I never want someone to have to come back to me and be beholden to the fact that I wrote it and they have to then speak to it. The resume really needs to capture your career story And you need to feel confident in speaking to that in the interview. You want to show up to that interview feeling, oh yeah, I know my value proposition. I know what I bring to the table. I know what my skills and experience are, and I know how I can really help this company. That's the energy you want to put forth. And you can't get that same effect when somebody else writes your resume.
Right. And I love what you said about when it goes through like a scanning process, like those keywords, like I would not even know that if I went to just go do my own resume. I haven't went out for a job in a long time. That's why I probably don't know, but I just had no clue. Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. There's an artificial intelligence that they use. It's an applicant tracking system, because for every one job opening, recruiters will get anywhere from 250 to 400 applicants for one job opening. Can you imagine if they had multiple job openings, how many resumes they would have to review? So they implement an applicant tracking system, which just is a keyword indicator. So it reads your resume and it scans it for keywords and it compares it to the job posting. And if you score high, you score a certain percentage, you get passed on to the next step, which is typically a human reviewer. And then a human reviewer spends about 7.5 seconds reviewing your resume. And then they reach out to you and they give you a phone interview, and then they pass it on to the next level. And then you go through the process. But if you don't know how to optimize your resume to target jobs, then your resume, it's not a one and done. You can't just write one resume and just throw it out into the world to 50, 75 different places. You have to optimize it and be really strategic in your approach to sending out your resume. And you really need to be strategic in your job search as well. It's really, really important. Just sending out a bunch of resumes, it's a really anxiety driven and frustrating, completely overwhelming place for people to be. I mean, listen, you get way more rejections than you get acceptance rates, right? So it's hard. It's hard to be told no. It's hard to be like, yeah, we don't want you.
yeah.
And when you're sending out hundreds and hundreds, you're getting a lot of rejections. And that's really hard. That really messes with your mindset. But if you're strategic in your application process, then you are putting yourself in the CEO position and you're driving that strategy. And you feel in more control, you feel more empowered, and it's easier to navigate that journey with a solid mindset.
Yes, definitely. I'm trying to see if we have any comment. No, it's so true. Before I talk about the comments, I did want to say, you had mentioned to make sure you, like with your resume, you could change it without having to type it all over again, just because it's, I think that's amazing for each job. You can really put, change up your skill set or whatever to cater to that job, right? So I think that is really great too. So I see Marie. Hello, Marie. Yeah, she said finished work, sitting with coffee. Okay, awesome. Thank you for joining in. I see Linda. Hi, Linda. Thank you for joining in. Awesome. And let us know if you have any questions for Jennifer. So Jennifer, so what else, so I'd like say to prepare for a job, what else, like say with a resume or like the cover letter, or anything else you could share with us, references, anything, little tips or.
So I would say the first thing is get real clear on what you want to do next. So do not go into the job search process in total desperation. Desperation is never a good look. So you don't want to go there. You don't need to be desperate. You're too good for that. You do not need to be desperate. You do not need to put the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket. You do not have to say, I'm going to just throw my resume out there and whoever hires me, hires me. Take it from me, people. It doesn't work. I accepted jobs that I knew were wrong. And I did it because they wanted me. And I ended up being miserable. And you go down this rabbit hole of desperation. And when you take one job offer and accept that, and you are unhappy, then you are desperate to get out of that job. And then you move to another situation out of desperation. And it's just this merry-go-round that is really, really hard to get off of. Yeah. So the first thing is I want you to promote yourself to CEO. You are the CEO of your career. And you need to have a solid strategy in place. And the first thing is you're the CEO and you're going to be strategic in your approach. You are going to take ownership of your job search and you're going to apply to jobs that appeal to you, that you want to do more of. So you have to identify what you love to do and what you don't love to do. And you want to go after those jobs that you want to do more of. Understanding that no job, and Eileen, you know this, as business owners, there's things in our business that we hate to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't love spreadsheets, but I have to do them.
Yeah.
And there's going to be aspects of any job that you don't love, and that's okay. But you want to go for the positions that you are doing more of what you love and less of what you don't love.
Mm.
And so you want to go after those positions and after those industries and after those companies that share your values and ethics, that align with who you are and what you bring to the table, that understand that you are a talent and you are not just human capital. And they value what you bring to the table, and they want it, and they will seek you out, and they will compromise on what matters to you. So is it compensation? Is it flexible time off? Is it, working from home? Is it professional development? Is it higher stock options? Identify what you really want from a role. And those are the things that you are going to want to target. But you have to read the job descriptions. Don't just look at the titles. Don't just look at the industry. Just don't look at the company. Really read the job description to identify what they're expecting in that role. And can you see yourself there? Is it what you want to do? And then you tailor your resume to target those jobs, and that's what you apply to. And you're very, very strategic about it. If you implement a solid strategy, you will get the job that you want, you will get the job that you deserve, and you will get there faster. I guarantee it.
Ooh, I love that. Especially the CEO. Like really it's, like you can't really be the effective at all. Like you really got to be in charge and stand for yourself and not just take any job that comes along, because look how many hours a day you're in a job, and who wants to be miserable day after day? I mean, it's, you're 2 weeks off a year. So that is so true. Really take charge and know what you want, have that kind of clarity. And especially working with you, because I know you really set people up very powerfully, not only with the resume intensive, but like I know you give tips like on LinkedIn or what, how to really go after what you're looking for, right? So you really kind of have the full package of supporting someone to find that job, that perfect job for them. So that's really
absolutely.
Great.
I'm all about finding the opportunity and not just a job. And I understand that sometimes we need a job. Sometimes we just need a paycheck. And I get that. I call those bridge jobs because they're bridging the gap to where you really want to be. It's just a bridge. You're building a bridge to get you further along to where you need to be. I just had a client who is on a job search, but he has bills to pay. And so he is frustrated and he's overwhelmed and he really wants to go after certain jobs. So he decided to take a stocking job at a grocery store in the evenings.
Yeah.
It gives him the opportunity to get out of his house. He's a single person. He can mingle with other people, but he's not there when the grocery store is open. So he still feels safe in a safe environment from pandemic and being around a bunch of people, but he's made friends and he works at Trader Joe's. And he started talking to the manager, and then the regional manager came in, and now they're thinking about promoting him to a higher position in a managerial capacity. And he may just have networked his way into a job.
Yeah, so true. It's all those conversations that you have with people, right?
Yes.
Every conversation is an opportunity, right? And like you say, an opportunity, like any job you take is an opportunity, and all those conversations. So that is so great. So how, if someone wants to work with you, what do you suggest? Do they, I know I will definitely put your website, or if you want to talk about your group too,
you can go to my website, jhocuttgroup.com, and there's all the information you need there. There's even a little video, so you can send me a message, you can send me a voicemail, you can send me a video if you are really brave to do that. I know a lot of people don't love videos, but you can connect with me there directly, and you can check out my website. It goes into every service that I offer. It even has the pricing, because I'm a big proponent of, I know price matters, and I totally understand that. And there's different options to work with me in different levels, but it's all right there. I'm very upfront. I will tell you like it is. It's fully transparent. But if you're just in a space where, I just need to talk to somebody. I just need to connect. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. I wouldn't even know how to work with you because I don't even know what step to take next.
Right.
you can connect with me on a quick coffee chat. I offer that availability to people who just need a little bit of value, just need some cheerleading, some motivation, and some
Right.
structure and ideas on what to do next. I'm happy to do that and connect with people directly, especially people in your group, Eileen. I'm happy to extend that to them. It's
Yes.
not a sales call. I don't do sales calls.
Yeah.
I am 100%, I bring value. It's 20 minutes. I bring my coffee, you bring your coffee, and we'll just hash it out right then and there. But I also have a group. My passion is goals. I love goals, goal setting, goal planning. I love helping people achieve their goals and success across the board. So if you're just looking for a community of really highly ambitious, supportive people, I have a group, Goals and Grit, and it's here on Facebook. And I go live in there every single week. And there's big things on the horizon for Goals and Grit that are happening after the first of the year. And so it'll be still on Facebook, but it's going to be more availability to a greater public. So I haven't announced that, but that's coming. So join the group if you're even just curious about that.
Yeah.
But we're just a supportive group, just trying to live our best lives. And we know that setting goals and being structured and having a strategy will get us there quicker, along with being together. You can go so much further together than going it alone. And so you don't have to go it alone. You have Eileen, she's a wonderful resource to help you changing your life and redesigning your life and living your best life. And I'm happy to come alongside and be whatever supportive resource I can be as well.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And I am a goal gritter. It's an amazing group.
Yes.
Definitely join. So I'll put Jennifer's website and Goals and Grit. So if you want to join. Yeah. And Jennifer, thank you so much. Like, you are just a wealth of knowledge always. I appreciate, and if, like, I'm telling you, everyone, like, I've worked with Jennifer. She is amazing. It's very empowering to work with her. And again, she's so warm and welcoming. And so she just is so supportive. Like, anything you need, she's there. So I highly, highly recommend her.
Absolutely. You will not fail, because I will not let you.
That's right. Right. Those goals, you reach those goals, right?
That's right.
So, yeah. So in closing, do you have any words? You said so much already, but anything like a quote or anything in words of wisdom in closing that you want to share?
So listen, wherever you find yourself today, right now in this moment, know that you are enough. You are 100% enough. If you have this nagging feeling, there's something inside of you that you're meant for more, you're built for more, you want to live out your purpose, you want to find your passion and share it, then you have to face your fear, whatever it is, whatever is scaring you, whatever is stopping you. Understand that fear protects us. It keeps us safe. But what you're probably going after isn't going to kill you. So fear doesn't have a place there. Yeah. And what you have to do is say, I'm brave enough to bet on myself. I didn't know what lay in front of me, but I knew I had to make a change. And although it seemed really scary, and I didn't know what to do next, and I didn't know how to take my skills and talents and apply it in moving forward, I knew one thing. I knew what I was capable of. And I knew that if I set my mind to something, I could make it happen. And I knew if I was going to bet on anybody in this world, it was going to be me, because I knew what I could accomplish. And so if you get to that place where you just are living in fear, if the rug has been pulled out from underneath you through divorce or job loss or the pandemic or anything that has happened, if the rug has just been pulled out from underneath you, know that you are a sure bet. You have everything you need right inside of you. Right inside of you, you can make it happen. And so if you're scared to move forward, know that fear is there to keep you safe, but you don't need protected from yourself.
Exactly. Wow. I love that. Well, thank you. Woo, that was great. Thank you for that. Beautiful words of wisdom, very powerful. And it's so true, right?
Yes.
So
and let me tell you, if I can do it, you can do it. I always say to my goal gritters, if little old me can do it, little old you can certainly do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so Marie says, great to see you too. Interesting discussion. Thank you, Marie. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, Linda. Whoever else you can't always see on Facebook Live. So if I did not say hello, I'm sorry. Sometimes you see after people watching, sometimes I don't even see the comments. You know how that is, Jennifer. So.
Yep, I sure
So
do.
thank you all for joining in. This was a really great conversation. Thank you for sharing your life and your business with us. Really appreciate that.
Anytime, Eileen. Thank you so much for having me. It's always good to see you.
Welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys, I'll see you next week on Conversations with Eileen. And Linda will be our guest. Linda is watching tonight.
Oh,
Next week, she is an amazing wedding planner. And she said, don't worry and good night, ladies. Okay. That's Marie. So anyway, but thank you, Jennifer, again. You're the best, and have a great night, everyone. So take care.
thanks.
Thanks again, Jen. Bye.
Of course, anytime. Bye.